Assalamu alaikum. So one of my subscribers asks, why do you have a dog? I thought people in the Islamic religion don't believe in having dogs. So I thought I'd make this little video to clarify our stance and belief on dogs. It is true that Prophet Muhammad stated that anyone who keeps a dog in their home, that the guardian angels would not enter the home. So actually what we believe is that you shouldn't keep a dog in your house. They're an outdoor animal. They have a purpose, and you shouldn't have a dog just as your friend, just as a pet with no purpose. That is actually our belief on it. Not that you can't have any dogs at all, but if you have a dog, it should be your farm dog, your herding dog, your guard dog, but they shouldn't live with you in your home as part of the family. Like they say in the West, the dog is man's best friend. So we don't believe that. We see dogs as, that they should have a purpose, and, just having a dog with no purpose, just living with you for no reason, that's what actually is discouraged in our religion. So unfortunately, in the society that we live in the West, people, keep dogs as their best friends. They live with the dog, eat and sleep with the dog, and there is major harm in the saliva of dogs. And this is what we were warned about. We were told that if a dog eats from your food dish or cooking utensils, that you should pour it out and let the dog finish it, and then wash it 7 times to sterilize it, 1 time with earth. And other than that, you should not keep a dog inside your house. You should keep him outside in his own separate pen, and he should have a purpose. So that's the main thing we do. We use dogs for farming, to herd sheep, to protect our land, and so on, but we don't have them in the home. And we see it as a very extreme view, an inordinate affection to keep dogs in the house, put clothes on them, throw birthday parties for them and all that. To us, we see that as being very extreme. That's not what God created dogs for. If you want a friend, then you should find a person to be a friend, not a dog. Dogs are not meant to be your friends. Dogs are not equal to humans. Humans are above dogs, and they should be treated above dogs. That being said, dogs have their rights. They should be fed and treated properly, but that doesn't mean that they should be treated like people. In America, in Michigan, I'm not sure about America, but in Michigan, the statistics are that 1 in 6 children go to bed hungry every night. In Michigan, 1 in 6 children go to bed hungry every night. And yet people are spending thousands of dollars on dogs, buying them clothes and all this stuff, when there's actually people who are hungry. So, this is a problem. It's not right. And just a few statistics. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association in the U.S., Disease Control, U.S. Centers for Disease Control reported that over 4.5 million people are bitten by dogs every year in the U.S., with over 800,000 instances where medical attention is required. So basically, over 800,000 people every year are bitten with such a severe degree that they require medical attention every year. So this shows that, dogs are not man's best friend. They have a purpose, but they are also is a very dangerous side to dogs. They can be vicious if they're not trained right, and people, giving dogs all these rights next to humans, and we're paying for it. 800,000 people every year need medical attention from being bitten by dogs. And people got them sitting at their tables, eating with them, and treating them like people. This is an unnatural thing. People put clothes on dogs, as we see here. and there are approximately 89.7 million dogs in the U.S. and rising. The average fatality due to dog bites every year is around 30 a year. So about 30 people every year are killed due to dog attacks every year. So these are just some examples of, an unnatural way that people are with dogs. They're treating them in an unnatural way. They're treating them in a way in which they should treat people. You should have people as your friends. If you want to take care of somebody, take care of an orphan or a child that doesn't have something to eat, rather than spending all this money on dogs. The proper way to keep a dog is, it should, like I said, it should have a purpose to herd your sheep, to protect your land. Also, people that have injuries or are impaired in such a way, like seeing eye dogs, this is permissible and according to our religion. Or somebody that, like people that have seizures and they have a dog to help, and they live alone, have no one to take care of them, then it would be permissible in that instance to have a dog living with you to protect you and help with your medical needs and so forth, to see for you, to get things for you, and so on. So here's a few instances where dogs are used in a permissible nature. And dogs are very, they're very beautiful animals. They're a creation of God, so we shouldn't hate them. But they just have to be kept in their right place. Here we see a blue heeler that is herding cattle. And if you know anything about blue heelers, they just love to herd animals. That's just part of their nature. And they do an excellent job at it. And it's very beautiful to see a dog, in the right and proper place doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's very amazing to see this dog, as small as he is, herding all these cows, and they do it more efficiently than a human. They definitely would be helping their owners. It would be very helpful to have a dog like this to help herd your cows when they get out and when you need to move them from point A to point B. Cows can be very dangerous too. And, to have a dog in there to help you herd them and get them going, this is a good and a correct way to use a dog. Not sitting on your couch, watching TV with you and sharing part of your TV dinner with you, but give them a purpose, give them something to do. This is what they were meant to do. They weren't meant to just live, in your apartment and then you got to take them for walks every day. And, they give them a job to do. This is the correct way to use a dog. Just look at this dog. It's very amazing to see how this dog is, how smart he is and quick he is. If you notice, when the cows kick at him, he's got the agility to jump out of the way and so on. And here we have a service dog. And look at this. This is amazing. His owner had a fatal, or not a fatal, but had an injury, a severe injury. And, this dog is able to help her out, gives her medication, is able to know when she has seizures, and is able to get help for her, open the doors for her. These are some correct ways in which dogs can be used. And everything in its place is beautiful. If you see a dog being used in a proper way, it's very beautiful. Here we have a blind person, and the dog is helping them to navigate through society. It gives them a sense of independence, that they can do it by themselves. They have the dog to help them, and it helps them keep their dignity. Instances like these, this is what the dog was originally intended for. And you also have to remember that, God Almighty is the one who created dogs. So his instructions for us is what's best for us. He knew best when he created the dog what its purpose should be. And in order for the dog to be happy and for us humans to be happy, it's in our best interest to follow the instructions that God laid out for us. Here's another permissible way to have dogs, is a hunting dog. This is a pointer, and you see here he's helping his owner, hunt for pheasants or quail, or bird dog. And it's beautiful. Look at this dog. If you get a chance, you ought to go to YouTube and check out some of these bird hunting dog videos. They're very amazing, very well trained. Look how still he's standing right there, pointing out the bird for his owner. You know, and this is a permissible way in which dogs can be used. It's mentioned in the Quran that, you know, you have dogs for hunting, and they, you know, bring back your prey that you've shot to them, to their owner. And these are correct ways in which dogs can be used and should be used. Look at that. Look how still he's standing. It's very amazing.
Both. Find it. Find a bird. Find a bird. Find it. It's right there. Good boy. Fetch. Here. Here. Good boy.
Here's another good example of how to use dogs in a proper way. We have some Muslim farmers in Turkey who are sheep herders, and they use the dogs to protect the sheep and to help herd them. And what a beautiful environment to have a dog in. It's unfortunate that, you know, a lot of times you end up loving and hating the wrong things without proper guidance and without proper knowledge. And dogs are not meant to be an indoor pet. It's not what they were created for. And it's unfortunate that people have utilized them in an incorrect way. So these are some examples of the ways in which dogs should be used.
Can we keep a dog in the house for the purpose of protection? If a dog enters the house, do we need to wash it for the acceptance of prayers? Well, the dog which is kept just for a friend, you know, as is common in some societies where the dog becomes man's best friend. People make clothing for the dogs, even shoes. People die and they leave all their inheritance to dogs. And they have children and they don't even leave anything for them. I mean, this kind of approach to the dogs is prohibited in Islam. A dog may be kept for protection purposes, a guard dog, or a dog which is used for herding sheep, or a hunting dog. These are the basic types of dogs which may be kept. But the dog is kept in its place. I mean, you don't take the dog to bed with you. You know, he sleeps in the bed along with you, kissing you in the morning when you get up. And this whole type of approach to the dog is not acceptable Islamically. As long as he's kept in his place, he has a kennel, a little spot where he stays, then it's not necessary to clean the home or clean him. I mean, the dog, of course, should be cleaned regularly anyway, but it's not a requirement for prayers to be accepted in the home. And one thing to note about dogs is that sometimes, you know, unfortunately, because, you know, Islam teaches us that if a dog licks or drinks from the vessel which we have eaten or which we're drinking from, that we should pour out the contents, let the dog finish eating it, and clean that vessel, 7 times. One of the times we clean it with clean earth. This is the mode for cleaning vessels which have been, which the saliva of the dog has come in contact with. This is specifically for vessels for eating. This is how we clean it. Because there is some harm that the dog possesses which is conveyed to us through this means. Why we use clean earth? Any biochemist can tell you that the vast majority of antibiotics are taken from earth sources, from the earth. People who work for the big chemical labs in Europe, when they go home to different parts of the world, they are asked to gather portions of earth from their different parts and brought back, because this is where antibiotics come from. Penicillin is coming from dust, the dust in the air. So we know that earth, clean earth, has these properties. Now, this is specifically for eating and drinking vessels. It doesn't mean that if a dog licks you, now you have to wash your hand 7 times, one of the times with dirt. No. If he licks your clothing, same thing. No. Actually, if a dog licks you, it doesn't break your state of ablution. If he touches your clothing, it doesn't break your state of ablution. These are not among the things which break the state of ablution. This is a misconception amongst many Muslims. And what it does is it turns Muslims into having this sort of phobia about dogs, If a person comes with a dog, Muslims are running in all the directions, right? Nobody wants to be anywhere near this dog. For a lot of non-Muslims, they really think this is very strange. Muslims have this phobia about dogs. Because the people have gone to extremes with regards to them. As I said, it is only in regarding...
Aiza says, can we keep dog as a pet or for security reasons? As a pet, it is totally prohibited. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that angels do not enter a house where there's a portrait, a statue, or a dog. And he said that whoever keeps a dog other than a dog of a shepherd dog or a dog for hunting or guarding, then each day out of his own good deeds, Allah will erase and deduct the weight of Mount Uhud of good deeds, of hasanat. A friend of mine, a relative actually, who has a chihuahua in his house. And so many times our relatives tried to give him advice, and he said, oh, it's cute, it's lovely, it's this, it's that. So I said to him, listen, do you have enough good deeds every single day that would equal Mount Uhud in hasanat? He said, not even 1/10 of that. I said to him, then in this case, you're in debt. Because every day this is being erased and deducted from your good deeds. And this, my friend, means that you're in real deep trouble. So this is not permissible. Now, for security reasons, this is permissible, providing that these reasons are legitimate. So again, keeping a chihuahua in your house is not for security reasons. It can be eaten by cat. So if you have a German Shepherd, a Doberman, something that is really vicious, and there is a need for it, that you are in a really disturbed environment or a neighborhood, that you fear for your life, and without that they will not be deterred from breaking into your house, this seems to be permissible, providing that you keep the dog outside the house and not allowing it to enter the house, and Allah knows best.
2/3 of pet owners now share a bed with their cat or dog, a new poll suggests. The survey of 2,000 people by sleep brand Silent Night also discovered that nearly 1/3 do so every single night. But should we really be letting dogs share our beds? While exposure to mites from pets can strengthen the immune system, experts say the habit can run the risk of serious infection. Sharing your bed with your dog increases the chance of them transferring microbes that sit on a dog's skin, possibly via licking, feces, or from their fur. Such bugs can cause conditions including mange or even Lyme disease. You can get mange. Okay, you could become a mangy beast, just like your dog. Professor Alejandra Parati, a mite expert at the School of Biological Sciences, says if a dog owner is immunocompromised or has a weak immune system, even temporarily, then they should not share their bed with a dog. Yeah, if you're immunocompromised, you shouldn't share your bed with a dog. Also, if you have any dignity at all as a human being, you shouldn't share your bed with a dog. In summary, it goes on with all the different disgusting diseases that you can get. But in summary is don't sleep with a dog in your bed, you savages. What are you? Are you a barn animal? You're laying in bed with a flea-covered beast right next to you? You might as well sleep on a bed of hay in the dirt, okay? You might as well do that. Go get some goats and pigs and just sleep in their pen with them. Their pen, rather.
The long way from a hospital bed.
He loves riding his Harley.
Dawn Manteuffel says her husband was perfectly healthy, but what they initially thought was the flu landed Greg in the emergency room.
It hit him with a vengeance. It's just bruising all over him, like somebody beat him up with a baseball bat.
She says life as they knew it changed forever. Blood tests revealed an infection caused by the bacteria, Capnocytophaga.
It took a week, and they were taking his legs.
The infection very likely entering Greg's system by something so common, getting licked by a dog, probably his own.
This type of bacteria comes from the saliva of dogs.
Dr. Sylvia Munoz Price is an infectious disease specialist with Frater and the Medical College.
This infection in his blood triggered a very severe response on his body.
That response causing Greg's blood pressure to drop and the circulation in his limbs to decrease rapidly.
Sometimes it decreases so much that the arms and legs just die,
forcing doctors to amputate.
We can't wrap our heads around it that all of a sudden he's, 48 years old and been around dogs all of his life, and all of a sudden this happens.
Still, the Manteuffels are looking at what wasn't taken away.
In our health alert tonight, why you should never let your dog lick you. Those good slobbery kisses can also be harmful to humans.
I don't believe we need a health alert for this one. I'm sorry, not happening. Dr. Nandy joins us now with some serious health issues that this can cause.
To all the dog lovers, please don't kill me. So,
Okay.
Have you ever heard someone claim that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's? Well, that's a bit of an old wives' tale. It turns out that your favorite pet's mouth is actually pretty dirty, and it might even contain toxins and bacteria that can make humans very sick. So while there's nothing wrong with a little puppy love, now and then you may want to consider keeping your dog's muzzle away from your own.
You know, I never understood the whole dog's mouth cleaner than a human's, especially given the fact that so many dogs tend to clean themselves with their mouths. What's wrong with letting your dog lick your face?
Exactly. So, well, like any other animal, including humans, a dog's mouth is loaded with viruses and bacteria, as you pointed out. And most of these little critters are beneficial to the dog, but when it comes to human beings, it's a bit different story. Some of these tiny organisms can wreak havoc to humans, especially if they come in contact with the mucous membranes of your eyes, nose, and mouth, where saliva pathogens are absorbed more easily.
But you can brush their teeth. I mean, and other safe ways to show love, right, Dad?
Glenda's got a solution. So, of course, don't get me wrong, dogs can be wonderful for your health. They're great companions, can teach us valuable lessons about loyalty, friendship, and unconditional love. If you follow a few basic guidelines, you and your pet can live a safe and happy life. So here are my prescriptions. Keep your pet.
So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on the video. Hopefully it helped you to understand that we don't hate dogs, we're not cruel to dogs, and hopefully you'll see that we try to keep dogs in a more purposeful and useful place in our lives, and hopefully it will provoke you to do the same with your dog. Feel free to leave a comment. Like I said, I love to hear some feedback from my videos. And feel free to like and subscribe to see more content like this. I'm also open to suggestions. If there's any topics or questions that you have that you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
الزيت تشنكرين ماما Erda sağda şinomanei şişenei de xamuzavşik.